How you doing, guys? Just a short video, a bit of an update on some news that I heard today. European Parliament have created some new laws which ultimately could affect most people online with regards to copyright infringement. I'm sure every single person watching this has posted a meme on their Facebook or Twitter. It might be a Friday night and you're off out and you find a meme, a picture that is normally taken from a film, so like a still from a film with some text over it. A lot of them obviously are things like cats and drawings or cartoons, for example, but it would still apply to those, as well as using still images from films. I think one of the most famous ones, I think probably everybody's seen, is Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek, where he's got his head in his hand, or somebody eating popcorn when there's an online spat going on somebody's social media feed. But ultimately what's happening, or what's going to happen, is that we're not going to be able to post memes like that anymore. Part of the directive for this change is that places like Google, Reddit, and all of these other sort of platforms will have to take action against people who upload images that could infringe on people's copyright. So that means goodbye to all of this. Which is a shame, because a lot of them are quite funny and a lot of them work really well when you post them at the right time. However, we go back to this, and I'll just run through this with you quickly just in case you haven't seen it. Europe just voted to change the face of the internet. Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales has already expressed his unhappiness, shall we say, with the new copyright laws, the EU copyright laws. The European Parliament has passed controversial new laws on internet copyright. The new directive passed by 74 votes on Tuesday. The laws are intended to ensure fair copyright on the internet, but have been sharply criticised for being overreaching. The European Parliament on Tuesday passed legislation massively tightening copyright laws on the internet, a move which has been vocally opposed by tech companies, academics and consumers. Now, we already know that YouTube have tightened their copyright control with regards to videos using music or clips of copyrighted material, but it seems now that they're going after the images as well, which to me doesn't make sense, because everybody knows it's not like you're trying to take away from somebody the credit for that image. For example, Jean-Luc Picard, we all know that that's Star Trek, so nobody's going to look at that and assume that image belongs to somebody else other than the makers of Star Trek. So for me personally, I don't quite understand why they're doing this. But the EU, even the UK government, nobody understands a fucking thing they do anyway. They're all mental. But moving on, the original draft of the new laws was sent back to the drawing board in July 2018 for being too sweeping, a little bit like most of the police laws. On Tuesday, or acts and legislations, on Tuesday the directive passed with 348 votes to 274. Most contentious are Articles 11 and 13. Article 11 is sometimes called the link tax, and that will require companies such as Google to hold licenses for linking to publishers. Now, I'm not going to pretend I know what that particular sentence means, so I'm not going to make something up. At the end of the day, I'm not entirely sure what that sentence means, and I'd rather be honest with you. Article 13, meanwhile, requires that internet companies such as Reddit police their platforms for any copyright infringement uploaded to them, filtering out any offending content. Reddit, Wikipedia and Pornhub, I know some of you are familiar with that one, that were among those who protested against the laws last week, asking users to lobby their representatives in the European Parliament to vote against the reforms. Tens of thousands of protesters also took to the streets in Germany and other European countries, including Sweden, Poland, Switzerland, Austria and Portugal, to campaign against the changes. On Sunday, a group of 200 European academics wrote a joint statement condemning the reform. A major criticism levelled at the new laws is that they will chill freedom of speech online. When they were first drafted, some even feared that Article 13 could lead to the extinction of memes. And this story is developing, as it says there, which means there's going to be more to come with regards to this particular thing. But me personally, I know that, as I say, YouTube with your cover images, for example, and any music or clips that you might use within your videos can be seen as copyright infringement, and you can get a strike on your account. I think that YouTube is quite tough on that, maybe a bit too tough. I know that they've relaxed a little bit, and rather than penalising you straight away for a copyright infringement, they give you a warning, and then if you do it again, then they'll penalise you and restrict some of the things that you can do on your channel. But I still think that it's a little bit too easy for people to claim copyright, and you get a marker against your channel without it even being looked into properly. So you could be restricted through somebody being malicious against you. But with regards to this anyway, now again, my channel is normally about the police so far, but I don't just want it to be about police. I want it to be about people in authority and the kind of corrupt things that they do to inflict harm or damage us in some way. And I don't necessarily mean violence, okay? But with regards to this, it's a law. Okay, it is saying that it is a law. Now, what I don't quite understand is that copyright infringement is a civil matter. So if it's a civil matter, it shouldn't necessarily, in my opinion, it shouldn't necessarily be a law. Acts and statutes cover things like, or can cover things like that. But to call it a law, if you break the law, you go to jail. Okay, or you get fined or whatever it might be. But it's dealt with, a law-breaking situation is dealt with by the courts, by the police and the courts. So to say you've broken a law by sharing something that's copyrighted, when in fact it is only a civil, as we look here, a civil wrong, is confusing to me. I don't know if anybody can explain this to me in the comments. If there's something I'm not sure about, I'd rather ask you, or look it up or ask you. And I'm looking it up, and it's showing that it says criminal liability for copyright infringements, but yet it says it's a civil wrongdoing, not a criminal wrongdoing. So if anybody out there can explain that to me, and maybe other people watching this video will be able to get that information from you as well, which would be really helpful. But I just wanted to sort of show you the kind of bullshit that is happening to the world. Like I say, a meme, I mean, let's look at them. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a meme that I've gone, oh shit, I don't like that person in the meme anymore. For example, let's look at this one, Morpheus. So I don't think I've ever, if I looked at a meme and Morpheus was in it, and it could say anything like what's on here. Do you know what I mean? It could say, the moment when your boobs come out, for example. I told that teaching lady, all I'm going to do is ride colts, punch cows and chase wild women. Now, none of that, to me, would make me think anything bad about the person who owns that image. Memes are there to express a feeling. They're there to make people laugh in most cases. 99% of memes are there for fun. So I don't quite understand why the government are making such a big deal out of it. I don't know how it's going to change, let's see what happens with Brexit, properly. But I don't know if things are going to change with regards to that. But the thing that worries me, and the reason that I'm making this video, is that, we are being cornered. We're being painted into a corner. The laws that are meant to protect us are being used to restrain us. They're being used to, keep us in check, as per how the government want us to be, not how, not to live our lives without doing harm to another person. It's about painting us into a corner, cracking a whip, if we sort of even look at, the rest of the room to move away from the corner, and it's almost like overcautious preventative measure. I don't think anybody has done anything illegal using a meme, for example. So I think that this overzealous preventative measure, I think, it's just too far. It's going to affect everybody. This is the problem. I mean, I use memes, but I don't want to have my social media accounts. I don't want to wake up one morning and find that 3/4 of my posts that I've ever posted have vanished because Facebook have set up a new algorithm to find the memes and remove them all, or whatever it might be. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But I just wanted to share that with you. You know, it says it's a law. I mean, let's face it, the police like to get involved in things that are, how can I put it, that are easy to deal with. Police love to get involved in things that are easy to deal with, which is why they do things like harass photographers or, you know, a multitude of other, you know, offences or alleged offences that they can, you know, that they can go and arrest somebody for really, really easily, spend a few hours doing some paperwork and then go home. Do you know what I mean? They've got their arrest for the day. It was an easy arrest, you know, didn't get kicked in the shins while they was nicking somebody, and, you know, spent a couple of hours doing paperwork, and now it's home time or lunchtime, go and get some donuts. I can see if this continues, if this type of thing continues, I can see it getting to a point where, you know, you're going to post a meme and you're going to get a policeman knocking at your door. It's just absolutely crazy. But anyway, guys, thanks again for watching. Thank you for being part of the community on this channel. If you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. At the end of the video, there's I can't remember which side it's going to be now, but there's a link to subscribe, or you can click underneath the video itself and click subscribe. I appreciate every one of you. Appreciate your support, appreciate your comments and your interactions on the channel. And yeah, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Take it easy, guys, and I'm sorry this video wasn't a bit more fun. You know, ultimately it's pretty shit information, but a lot of people won't know about it, so I just thought I would share that with you. So take it easy, guys.